Hi. In this lesson I will show you another verb haber, and I will show you how to conjugate it in present, past and future, same as we did in our previous lesson with the verb tener, okay? I think it was tener, no, it was not tener, it was the verb estar, right? The verb estar. Now we will do the verb haber. The verb haber corresponds with the English verb to be and to have, right? So it's complicated because the verb to be in English has a correspondence with two Spanish verbs, that is verb ser and verb estar, okay? And in a way also has a correspondence with the verb haber, right? If, for example, if I say hay muchos niños, right? I'm saying there are many children, right? Here we use the verb haber, as in English we use the verb to be, to say there are many children, right? Also, the English verb to have, has a correspondence with the Spanish verbs haber, yes, and tener, right? So it's as the example with the verbs to do and to make in English, right? Which you have to know when it applies to use either one or the other. Same thing in Spanish with these verbs. We need to know when we use tener or haber, right? And let me give you a small hint right now. For example, if we talk about, for example, verb haber, right? It has a correspondence with the English verb to have when it is used as an auxiliary verb, right? For conjugations. For example, in English, if we want to conjugate into the present perfect, we use the auxiliary verb to have, right? For example, let's conjugate the verb to run in present perfect, okay? We say, I have run, okay? Yes? So we are conjugating the verb to run, but the verb to have is the auxiliary verb, right? So we do need to use verb to have. In Spanish, for the present perfect and for all the other compound conjugations, our auxiliary verb is the verb haber, right? So how would we say I have run in Spanish? We would say yo he corrido. Okay? This is a bit untied there. Yo he corrido. This is a conjugation. Yo he corrido. I have run. Okay? So here the verb haber has a correlation with the verb to have. But if I say, if I want to say, I have a pen. No, not that example. There are two pens here, right? There are two pens. In Spanish I would say hay dos lapiceras. Okay? Hay dos lapiceras. Dos lapiceras. So we're using I from the verb haber, right? That's why I tell you that verb haber it means to be and to have. So before we go deeper into the uses and functions of the verb haber, I will show you how to conjugate it in present, past and future, and in our next lesson I will show you some examples using this verb. So let's begin with present. Yo he, tú has, él ha or ella ha. Nosotros hemos, vosotros habéis, ustedes han, ellos han. Okay? So if we want to conjugate into present perfect, we would take whatever verb we want to conjugate. If it is run, we say the past participle of verb correr, to run, is corrido, right? Of the past participle of the verb comer, to eat, is comido, right? So we would say yo he corrido means I have run. Nosotros hemos comido means we have eaten, right? Ella ha comido means she has eaten, right? So this is the conjugation we would use for present perfect, right? And this is the present tense of the verb haber. Let's see verb haber in past, in pasado. Yo hube, tú hubiste, él hubo, ella hubo. Nosotros hubimos, vosotros hubisteis, ustedes hubieron, ellos hubieron, right? Always see that ustedes and ellos conjugate the same. You see? You see? It's always the same conjugation between ustedes and ellos. And ustedes and vosotros are synonyms, they mean the same thing, right? So, let's go to the future. Yo voy a haber. Tú vas a haber. Él va a haber. Or ella va a haber. Nosotros vamos a haber. Vosotros vais a haber. Ustedes van a haber. Ellos van a haber. That means they will have, right? If we add corrido, right, the past participle of the verb to run, it will be ellos van a haber corrido. That means they will have run. If we add comido, that means eaten, we would say ellos van a haber comido, or in English, they will have eaten. Future number 2. This is the most typical future conjugation of Spanish, right? In Spanish. Yo habré. Tú habrás. Él habrá. Nosotros habremos. Vosotros habréis. Ustedes habrán. Ellos habrán. Right? And this means exactly the same. They are synonyms, just different ways of conjugating the future. Okay? Typically, this is the Spanish way of conjugating the future, and I'm showing you this one because it's more similar to the English future, okay? To the English conjugation of the future. So, the same as we said, ellos van a haber corrido, we can say ellos habrán corrido, or ellos habrán comido, and it means exactly the same. They will have run, or they will have eaten, right? And there's one special conjugation, one single word for the verb haber, right? It's this short word, hay. Hay means there is. You say it hay, hay, just like that, hay. And this, you use it when you say hay algo, there is something. Hay una casa, there is a house, okay? Whenever you use there is in Spanish, you say hay, as simple as that. And it's written with H-A-Y, H-A-Y, different than the exclamation ay, right? This is the Spanish exclamation ay, means ouch, right? When you hurt yourself, this is a common way of exclaiming in Spanish, ay. But as you can see, it's written without an H. And why have I marked these in red? Because these correspond for he or she, and also for the subject pronoun it in English, right? For the abstract also. So if we want to say it will rain, sorry, yes, no, it will rain, no, because we are using verb haber. Let's see. There was a storm, okay? We would say hubo una tormenta. If we want to say there were many, we will say hubieron muchos. Hubieron. If we want to say there will be a storm, we say habrá un temporal. Okay? So these that I have marked in red are very much more used because it's there will be, there has been, there are, there is, right? So I will give you in the next lesson some examples using some sentences where we'll see how to use the verb haber, okay? So I'll see you in our next lesson. Goodbye.